Hi, this is Miss Cindy, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. What I have here is some craft supplies that I think I'm going to use. I'm really not sure yet, but just give you some idea of, I have some rope and some cord and some wood. Not too sure what I'm going to do yet. But what I'm going to do differently is I'm going to show you the technique of how we're going to do the craft. So you know I do a lot of crafts with my grandkids. I am also their hairdresser. So I get them, every other week and go through, and they got a whole lot of hair and it's long too. Anyway, they're here with me. They're behind me and their hair's not done. So they didn't want to be in the video. So they need to learn how to braid. They wear their hair in ponytails, but they don't know how to braid well. So this video is I'm going to attempt to show you how to do a basic braid. And then once the girls get it down packed, we're going to do a craft using that braiding technique. Braiding is really not that hard once you know how to do it. I know people my age that to this day, they still don't know how to braid hair. So it's really not that hard. You just got to learn how to do the basic braid and then you go from there. I love to braid, and as you can see, I wanted to make a headband wig using braids. So I did all of this braiding, and I sat back and watched TV, and it was really relaxing for me. So this is something everybody knows that you can do with braids. It does not matter what type of hair you have, what color your skin. If you have a neat braid job, you can wear it in the street. It's just a nice hairdo. So anyway, this is just one of the crafts that I did. I will not be wearing this because it's hot as Hades out here, and that's just too much hair for me. But at least I know I was able to do the braided headband. So anyway, I'm going to show you how to do a basic braid, and then the girls are going to practice, and then Grandma's going to come up with some sort of craft that we can use the braiding technique in. Okay, to get started, I've got this little contraption set up using the chairs from my dining room table. And I'm going to braid this hair just like I would braid their hair. I just put a little rubber band up here to make it a ponytail, pull it tight. And then I'm going to divide this hair into 3 even pieces. You do the best you can to keep them even, to get the same amount of hair in 3 different parts. And pull it out so it's nice and even and it's not tangled. Okay. So, the most important part to remember when you're braiding is to hold on to the hair. So as you're braiding, you always hold this hair, because if you don't, once you start braiding, if you let it go, it will unravel. That's just the way hair is. So I have my piece on the right, I have my piece in the center, and I have my piece on the left. So all I'm going to do is take the right strands and cross over the middle, and I'm holding it. Then I'm going to take the left strand, cross over the middle. Now that left strand becomes the middle. Then I'm going to take the right strand, go over the middle. And then I'm going to take the left strand, go over the middle. You see how my thumb is holding that hair? Right strand, over the middle. Left strand, over the middle. And that's all braiding is. When you're dealing with hair this long, then after you do a couple of passes, you want to do this to the hair. And that's just to make sure it stays nice and even. If not, it'll get tangled. Because at the bottom, as you're doing this, if you don't pull this hair out, the bottom is also braiding itself. And then by the time you get down there, it's tangled. So here we go. Left over middle, right over middle. Left over middle, right over middle. And then just pull it out. Left over middle, right over middle. That's all there is to braiding. Now, because this hair is so long, I got to pull this chair out a little bit. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just repeat those steps. Pull it a little bit. Keep it nice and even. And you see the braid is forming. Left over middle, right over middle, pull. Left over middle, right over middle, pull. Left over middle, right over, and pull. Okay, so see, there you go, a nice, neat, even braid. And I'm not going to braid the whole thing for you. I'm just going to go ahead and stop there. I'm going to put a rubber band on it to hold it, because if you don't put a rubber band or braid it all the way to the ends, it's going to unravel. Okay, so there you have the basic braid. And you can use this on cord, on thread, wire. Once you know the technique of braiding, you can use it in all sorts of crafts. So that is, once I teach these girls how to braid, we're going to do a craft with this braiding technique. Be back. Okay, I set up a little contraption here, as you can see, with my tables to try to teach these girls how to braid in the different textures. So what they're doing is they're just practicing. And I'm very shocked because I only showed them one time and they got it. So as you can see, they're braiding with yarn now. We're going to do hair, we're going to do blanket yarn, we're going to do string, just so they can get the hang of it. And then we'll go to a craft. Okay, so I see y'all are working on some weave here now. How's it going?
Good.
Easy?
Mm-hmm.
Just a little slower?
Yeah.
Right. Why is it slower?
It's a lot easier to braid it.
Okay, but why is it slower? You don't want to get, you don't want to get what?
We don't want to get tangled.
Tangled, exactly, at the end. Good job. Okay, well, now that the girls officially know how to make a braid, and they did pretty good, I've decided which materials I'm definitely going to use. Pretty much the same thing I had at the beginning of this video, but I scaled it down a little bit. So my dowels are going to be 12 inches long, and I'm using a 1/2 inch as opposed to a 1 inch. And then I'm going to put the buttons on the ends just to give it a little design. And then I'm going to let them do the braiding, but I'm going to prime and paint the dowels because I'm going to have to sand them down. I'm going to have to glue that on so I can get all of that ready. And then when they come, they can just go ahead and paint them. And then I'm going to use these hooks and I'm going to screw these in. So when we hang this little dowel up, it'll be somewhere that they can put their hats or their keys or their little purses. They can hang it on this, and this will be sitting at Grandma's house. So these are the colors that we're going to use, the white, the beige, the gray. I think I'm going to throw in there the twine for texture on one of the braids and the blue. So we're pretty much almost done. The hard part was learning how to braid, and then we'll be back to show you what we've done. Okay, so the two poles have been primed, I sanded them again, and I put the little buttons on the end. And then naturally, Grandma's gonna make it a little bit harder than it needs to be. I went ahead and did a pour with the colors of the yarn that's going on here. So I got a little contraption set up here. And it looks like it's going to work, and that's only because there's going to be some spaces in between the braids. So it'd be nice if it had a little color in there instead of just painting it. So I'm trying my hand to do a pour on these dowels. And then I'll put the hooks in, and then it's up to the girls that go ahead and start braiding. Anyway, like I said, I just made it a little bit harder, but I wanted it to be pretty. And I'm going to sit here probably for the next hour and keep turning these so I don't have any drips. We'll be back. Okay, so the dowels are done and they're dry. And I got my hooks in them. And I'm thinking we're going to do a braid, 1, 2, 3, probably 4 braids across. They came out okay. They just have some color to them. These hooks I got from Home Depot. They screwed right in with no problem. And I think when it's finished, for it to hang, I haven't decided if I'm going to do wire on the ends and tie it up, or if I'm going to do yarn and tie it up. I have not decided. We haven't gotten that far yet. Right now, it's just getting them completed with the braids. So I just wanted you to see how these little dowels came out on using an acrylic pour. Acrylic pour is amazing. Okay, the girls are ready to start braiding. I couldn't come up with a contraption. Y'all say, look at the camera and say hi. Okay. I couldn't come up with a contraption to hold this pole, so each of them will hold the pole for the other while they braid. So you can go ahead and start braiding, Catalina. We have a rubber band. Make sure it's tight. We got a rubber band holding it as if it was a ponytail. So I'm going to let them start braiding this up, and we will be back when they're finished. Okay, so Catalina did a couple of braids. Now Jaleesa is going to do a couple of braids. And then they'll switch again, and the braiding will be done. I understand you girls have been braiding your own hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, so the girls now have finished braiding, and they're combing the bottom. Show the bottom. See, they're combing. We untwisted it, and now they're just combing it out to give it a little design on the bottom. Make sure all of them are separated. See, that still has tape on it. So that's got to come off. That needs to all be separated. Right. Comb it through. Okay. Finished? Okay. So you can hold it up so they can see it. All right, so this is as far as we've come. We just tied some little ribbon around here, and that's just to cover the rubber bands that we have holding the braids together. So we're pretty much finished. I'm just going to figure out what I'm going to put on the ends, and we'll show you the end product when it's hanging on the wall. Okay, there's our hanging hook. It's finished. All I did was I did some super glue with a little bit of ribbon on the ends. And right now it's just sitting on a push pin, but you can put a nail in the wall if you want. But it's nice and sturdy. It's holding some jewelry and keys. And this is just a quick craft that you can make using the braiding technique. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great day. Please subscribe if you get a chance. And give me a like if you like the content. Have a great day.